Good morning. This is Kathy for Getting Chatty with Kathy, and I want to thank you all for joining us today. I have two lovely ladies here in the studio who are very artistic and talented, and I'm just grateful to experience some of their talents. So I would love to introduce to you both. To everyone, I have Cassidy Marshall and I have Patricia Holdsworth here with us today. Hi guys.
Hello.
Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what makes you tick.
Okay, I'm Patricia Holdsworth. I've been a photographer in Regina for many years and have been recently doing more backdrops as well as my photography.
Very cool. She's being humble and kind right now. She has some mad skills when it comes to photography.
I'm Cassidy Marshall. I am a portrait photographer here in the city of Regina. My business name is Elysian Photography Company, and I do a lot of fine art prints of lots of children and infants and families. They're mostly my jam.
But you don't just take a photo of them. Like, you actually make it look like a whimsical, like, fairy tale.
Yeah, I definitely say that I'm like storybook inspired, fairy tale. Yeah.
We'll get into it a little further later. So, I think that when I meet women like both of you, I think it's super cool to meet entrepreneurs here in the city that are doing their own thing, following their own like passions and like, you know, doing their hustle. And I think that both of you guys have like such interesting paths to where you are today. So Patricia, why don't we start with you, because you were saying you've done photography for a bit and maybe even before 35 mil. So could you tell us how you got passionate about photography back then and where you're going to now?
Sure. So I started off taking a course from high school in photography in Sheridan College in Oakville, Ontario. And actually my first camera was a 4x5 view camera because I was film and that's what we were doing. And it was a whole couple of years of figuring all that out. And then I came out to Regina. I had one friend that lived here, and I came and stayed with her and loved the place and got busy with my business. Well, I started working for a company, and that went on for about 4 years, and then I started my own business.
Right on. So from high school, you got hired on to a photography company.
In Regina, yes.
Cool. How did you manage that?
Well, it just word of mouth, right? I knew this one woman who had moved back here said to me, "Hey, there's a company looking for a commercial photographer." So I went student standby because I was able to. I was young enough back then.
Yeah,
got on a plane. Came out, met with them. They liked me. They hired me, and I went to work.
Rest is history.
It is, and it's been an incredible career. I've done tons of cookbooks. I've done all kinds of things for art galleries and advertising agencies, billboards, and RCMP. I did their catalog work for years, and so I was primarily working as a commercial photographer. And of course, there's always people involved in the photographs, but you know, time goes by, and then digital came, and it was do or die.
Digital took it to just a different level.
I thought, no, this isn't going to happen in my lifetime. This is like too far away, but then there it was. So fortunately, I also, because I doing all kinds of things, was doing relief instructing at SciAS when they had the photography course. So if they needed somebody, because somebody was sick, I'd come in and help out. And then all those Mac computers showed up. And
you knew.
Yeah. So unfortunately, because I was instructor there, I could take the course. It was a self-taught. So I started showing up every morning and learned the digital end of it. And before long, I was digital all the way. And I bought the cameras and I bought everything. And yeah, so I did that, and I've learned to make websites, and I've been on one big learning curve.
It started out of high school.
Basically, yes, and I love learning, so it's been all great. And then if you want me to carry on a little bit.
Well, I was just curious, what if you had your choice to take a photo of something, because with commercial, you're right, it's people, it's products, it's scenery. What gets you happy? Because I have seen some of your like scenic photography, and it makes it's shocking, like how beautiful it is.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, to go out in an evening and to do scenic stuff, or to be on a trip and to make a point of when the sun goes down or comes up. That's when you photograph.
You nailed it.
Same with my architectural photography. I mean, I don't shoot the architectural exteriors in the daytime. I wait until the sun is set, and like actually set, so that the lights come on in the building and you get all that. And I guess as far as subjects are concerned, I mean, they all have an appeal to me in one form or another. And maybe it has to do more with composition and lighting. Like I see the subject, and then I feel, okay, what is happening here, and how do I balance this all out and work with it? And it doesn't matter what it is. People are a little more of a challenge.
She's taken my picture, and I'm very awkward.
Well, they're moving, you know,
and awkward.
See, I love the toddlers, and they're constantly,
constantly
moving.
So you have to, learn how to work with people a little more effectively than building a building's just like, I'm sitting here, I'm doing nothing, you're good to go.
Interesting. So you've kind of done the whole gambit. And then how about you? Like, how did you get into photography, and what took you there?
Okay, so I remember in high school, I started a photography course. There's photography, video, animation, that kind of thing, and I really, really loved it and just could spend hours and hours, and it would feel like a few minutes went by. So I knew I loved that. But when I went into university, I was trying to decide, should I go the artistic route or a more business route? And I can't even really remember why, but I decided to go the business route, assuming that was more applicable to
That's what everybody told us to do.
Of things. But I feel like I was able to apply that throughout my career as well.
You are running a business.
Yeah, and I've had a few businesses already, and I'm 33, and I think this is my third business. I don't know. But I ran Paint Night in Saskatoon for a few years. We moved up there and then back in 2019. But that was a fairly big operation. I think I had 25 staff, and we raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for local charities, and I don't know. It was a really big operation, and it was really good, and that was kind of interesting because I could combine the artistic side with the business side, because we were teaching painting in bars and restaurants, and there was a lot of branding that went along with that of creating something that's really fun that people want to come back to over and over again, and they're spending their bachelorette parties there, like making really important memories. And so I feel like the business side was integral to that as well. Yeah. But then when we moved back to Regina, I decided to get full-time into photography. So that kind of brought me, and even through photography, there's so many different things that you can do. I tried some weddings, I tried some lifestyle, I don't know. I think what really ended up getting me was the fine art. So like I said, I can spend hours and hours working on something, and it feels like just a few minutes have gone by. That's what fine art is for me. So I might work on one portrait for literal hours, but I enjoy doing that. And
they're stunning.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Thank
you guys
you.
both have like your own looks, and they're both stunning. I'm just amazed by the talent that's sitting in this room right now.
It's definitely more a creative outlet. Like I don't know, like some people knit, some people paint. This is my painting.
I saw a post, maybe it was just yesterday, where you had a little one on a tree, and it was mossy.
Oh, yes.
And you showed the composition and how to frame it, and you're like, I thought it was going to be head on, straight on. Yeah. But then I took it to the side, and it made it feel more.
The impact just changed, just from that slight little crop. The composition changed entirely, and it just all of a sudden told a little bit different of a story, I think.
Where does that come from?
The cropping?
The thought.
The thought. I don't know. Just sometimes you just need to experiment, and
your intuition tells you how to kind of do it.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
So these two ladies, I think, were scheming together before I met them.
Oh, yes.
Why don't you guys tell us about how that came about?
Well, I was leaning towards shooting more portrait work before the pandemic, and I kind of got things in place, and I started to research. Well, posing is a pretty critical thing, and I wanted to see what was going on out there. And as I researched, I came across photographers like Sue Bryce. She's in the industry. She's one of the big ones in terms of being able to pose people, and I started to become more and more aware of these canvas backdrops behind these. They're gorgeous, and I thought, well, where are these coming from? So I started to research that, and it was like Oliphant out of New York and all these other places that make these canvas backdrops. And then the pandemic hit, and I thought, well, I won't be buying a backdrop right now. And there's no business. But what if I tried to make them? So I started to research. I spent a lot of time researching how to make these backdrops, who was making them, how to make this happen. And I came across a course from a couple out of Europe that were teaching, and I bought that. And then they had a Facebook page and started sourcing canvas and figuring out how to use the paints and textures and all kinds of different things that you have to figure out to make these backdrops. And then as I made them, I photographed them and put them on the Facebook of this studio, and people were commenting and they liked them, and I was liking what they were doing. And it was a nice group. I really enjoyed being involved with it. And eventually somebody said, do you sell your backdrops? Why not? I can sell a backdrop.
Sure, of course I do.
Entrepreneur.
So I was out the door went the first one to a guy in Portland, Oregon, great big backdrop, and another started contacting me the same. And then Cassidy showed up at my place one day. She called me and she says, "Hey, you the backdrop." So
you're the backdrop lady.
So I had taken the space that was kind of my studio space and turned it into a backdrop painting space. My husband built me this big platform so I could stretch the canvases, staple them down, and do all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was great. He's wonderful that way. So then Cassidy is talking about what she does and her studio. And I went, studio? You have a studio? Let me come visit you. So I did. And
Let's talk about your studio space, because
Yes.
it's quite phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's on 8th Ave, kind of similar building to the one that we're in right now, actually. There's a bunch of different businesses in there. I'm up on the 3rd floor.
It's all brick.
It's
the
all
old
brick.
bricks.
It's over 100 years old. It has a lot of character.
Hardwood floors.
Hardwood floors, some natural light.
The
It's
old
just
windows.
it's just got a good energy.
Definitely.
I don't know. It's just got a nice energy for creating
beautiful
and
space.
High
I love it.
ceilings.
with people.
Did you say the high ceilings?
I've
amazing.
never
That is like
14, 15 feet ceilings.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Beautiful space. So
I love
you
the
go to
space.
this space and you're like, hello, this is where my backdrops
And then,
need
I
to
love
be.
talking with Cassidy too. She's a photographer, right? So we could just talk for
Speak the
ages
same
about
language.
photography. Yeah, it's a language. So we just did hit it off right away. And then we started collaborating. I said, you know what? When we both need promotional material, I'm selling backdrops and need to promote them. You're doing photography, so she made arrangements for mother and daughter. That
Yeah.
first one we did together to come in, and I videotaped it. So she's doing all her beautiful setup and laying out the flowers and got the backdrop there,
All my
obviously.
little finicky
And I'm
OCD
just
stuff.
taking it all in with my video and put together videos for both of us, and it was fun, and it gave us some great promotional material.
Yeah. And then you wanted to do it again.
Well, yeah, I mean,
And again and again.
and then I also
It was
would bring
mutually
models over
beneficial because
to her
like
studio. Yeah.
those portraits that we took that day. A couple of them I put into some portrait competitions that did well.
Yes.
So like I'm always looking for something where something's in my head and I find somebody who kind of suits, like a model who suits that vision that I already have, and then just having an opportunity to just make that come to
Great,
life is.
great. But I know what
helpful.
she's hinting at, because, well, then I created that backdrop that was all a swirly, wispy kind of.
Yes.
And I just thought, oh, this is so great. But the thing about, when you make a backdrop, you're envisioning what things will look like on it. I mean, I think what makes me good at these backdrops is because I can see how a photograph will look. But I'm super pumped about this, and I'm like, Cassidy, we got to do something with this. And talking with Kathy, I had this ballerina with just against this backdrop. I thought it would be perfect. And it came up that you had a daughter, and she was
A ballerina.
I went, okay. So we got it all lined up. We got over it. And then you had the 2 daughters.
Yes.
So we wanted to have them both. And then we hand them over to Cassidy, and you can take it from there with the outfits and everything you selected. And then
yes.
we did lots of stuff.
Yeah, so these 2 beautiful
Oh,
little
you guys
girls.
are too kind. I was so blessed
so
that
They
these
get it
ladies
from their
offered.
mama.
Oh, you're nice. You're nice.
As soon as I walked in, because I think I was running like that. I think I had to go to Dawn's photo, and I was waiting for Dawn's photo to open. So I made
Charging
sure
a battery.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, my light battery charger is having issues. So anyways, Dawn's is. Shout out to Dawn's
Wonderful.
for charging my battery for me, and I need to wait until 9:30 when they open so I can swap out my battery with them. But you guys had got into the studio before I did, but I walked in, I see Nora has beautiful red hair and like fair skin. And immediately I was like, oh, you're gorgeous. And then Edie, same thing, but she has your beautiful dark hair. And so yeah, we got to my wardrobe there. I have so many outfits for
there's a whole
the little
wall,
kids.
and there's
It's
adult things I saw too.
So much, but I have
goodness.
linens
Beautiful.
and knits and corduroys, and I really, really love
Earth
rich
tones.
textures, rich tones. So yeah, I just pulled a couple things, and then Nora had her last year's ballerina outfit, and yeah, it all just worked. Just was beautiful.
And you kind of corralled these like running little like oh my goodness, like they're pretty energy guys, right? And like, okay, so you're doing these poses and getting them all like set up really nicely, and you start taking the pictures, and then Patricia's going around taking photos of this process.
I'm doing the video, yes.
And videoing it, and like, I'm just observing it, just like, this is fun. And then I saw what you guys created after, and I was like, how did you guys do that? Like, was I in that room? Because, like, I didn't see, like...
When the vision all comes, yeah.
Oh, it was stunning.
Thank you.
You guys create really good things together.
We do, and we really enjoy doing it. That's kind of the key, I guess. We're having fun.
Yeah.
That's all we're ever doing, having fun.
And we both enjoy working with each other and have something to offer that, we both appreciate what both of us do, and
I want to see Cassidy do well, and I know
you
that
too.
she feels the same about me. So it's like, that's how networking and supporting people in business, I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You want the best for them.
Yeah.
I agree, 100%. And as soon as I saw the pictures, I felt immediately like guilty. Like I was like, I have to give you guys something here so I'm so happy you could come at least on the show, because I tell you, it's like, I keep on saying this, but I'm always amazed about the talent in Regina. And I just don't think that we do enough shouting from the rooftops how good we are. Because you guys, if you ever want some beautiful work done, or beautiful like backdrops, composition, work photo for your portrait, for your website, like these two women have mad skills, and they would make sure that you look good, because they made me not look like awkward. And I usually look like this like cotton like headlights like oddball face, because I'm too expressive. And like, you were like, Kathy, chill. And you guys were both like calm about it, because I think you guys could tell that I was nervous, and you guys just made it work really. I felt so comfortable.
Well, sometimes I can turn that energy into something different. Like nervous can, if you're cuddling with your kids, I'll just sort of turn that energy toward your kids, and then it just becomes about the connection between the few of you.
Yeah.
Rather than looking right at the camera and just a little bit nervous. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I think also like you captured personality in your photos too, which is something that's not very easy to do. Like, how you had my other one, Edie, doing her like little like faces, and she's very expressive, and she had this hat on her that we like made her put on, and she just like owned it.
Yeah.
And she was
think you make Edie do anything.
No, yeah.
No, you just let her unfold. She's a dynamo, and
there was a hat, and Edie became one with the hat.
Yeah. She was hamming it up. Yeah. Like, man, I think kids growing up with like phones and like YouTube and TikTok and all these things, I think it's given them like a certain degree of comfort.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get like a little message from my Nora. And she'll like be like, "Hey mom, how's it going? I'm just doing my makeup," and she'll like film her own little YouTube video for just. I'm like, what is going on here? And like so confident, because they've been watching these things their whole life.
Yeah. No, I love like every kid that I meet. Within a few minutes, they're starting to warm up to me. I'm starting to get an idea of their personality, and that's why each session that I do is so different from one to the next, because it's really about the person in front of me and sort of what comes out when we are with each other. So no two portraits are exactly alike, but yeah, you can see that between your two daughters. Like their pictures are so different. Same backdrop.
Yes.
Same studio, but completely different
energy
and vibe, and
I was, it's just looked so, and it was perfect blend of the two together because it just works so well. And like with Nora's dance costume, it was like this blue that looked so nice with the dark blue.
Yes, that's what
and the red of her hair.
And I think that's part of it for photographers is too, as I'd already seen all that. Even I saw that one picture of her, and you showed me, and I'd already envisioned the whole thing.
Yes.
And then sharing that with Cassidy, and she's like, "Oh,
We see the blue,
I can see that.
the
really."
blue and the orange are already,
Her vision of it was even, more the way that it was just such a. I loved that her arms were out and her head to the side, and
she just owned it too, like a little ballerina.
I love that photo. Yeah. So we
girls.
bring our visions together, and
So what's next for you two? Do you have anything in the works that you're thinking about doing?
I don't know. I love kids, so that's usually or even just motherhood. So that's usually who I'm looking for models.
And, one of the things that is happening right now too, though, so you get outside a little bit more and you're outside of your studio.
Yeah.
So I think we are going to probably work on coming up with some stuff in September when it starts to get a little bit cooler and you come back inside, because that's when we're doing a lot of the inside work.
Yes. Yeah.
And I might come up with something before then. I don't know. We just something pops into one of our heads and we say, hey.
Yeah, we both get quite busy outside because you do your architectural stuff all summer, and then sort of.
And I'm still making the backdrops too. I've just finished a commission one not too long ago, and
that's neat to see.
And I'm doing more commissions so that when people are looking for a backdrop, they go to my site, and the holdsworthbackdrops.com, and then they'll see them, but maybe they want a little larger one, because I have lots of inventory of just like a little bit smaller ones, and then I'll say, I can do that for you. And
it's like your test.
Whip it up,
your test one.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. I think that's really incredible. Like, I never even would have thought that a career could be making backdrops.
It was a surprise to me too.
I love it. I love it.
One of those happy COVID things.
Yeah, and it's not it's not full time. It's just something that I do,
there's
and
so
as
many
needed.
different little things we can all do to create a wonderful career. It doesn't have to
your
be
career
all the
doesn't
same
have
thing.
to be all one thing. I mean, if you enjoy doing different things, you can work them all in. I mean, it's your life, your desires. It's what do you want to make for yourself? How do you want to design your life? It can look like lots of different things all at the same time.
I love that. How do you envision your life? Love that.
And I think that you guys can bounce off each other ideas and like techniques and where it's going. I think like when I get around other people that like, for instance, I like to dabble in a little pottery. So when I'm around somebody that like is showing their work and they're talking about all the little details and this footing, and then I do it's just like you can just go deep.
Yes.
I know.
And they get it.
Yeah.
And you two get it. Like, you got a sparkle in each other's eyes when you talk to each
other.
other.
We encourage each other, too. Yep.
It's wonderful. Now we're going to have to get you to RWN, right? Is that what we've been saying to you?
Oh. You're doing this on air.
I'm doing it on air. I'm open to it. I like making new friends.
We have some events coming up, but we got on June 4th, it's the President's Soiree.
Yes.
So
yes,
maybe that would be a good one. We're at the Williston.
It'd be like a garden party theme. And
what's the dress code?
Nice food. Well,
what is it? I haven't been to a President's Soiree.
Well, we should dress up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't mind the dress up once in a while. Like, I don't want to do it every day.
But, something pretty for a garden party event.
We'll be outside.
Okay.
So that's kind of fun.
And the food there is very good at the Williston.
Oh, incredible.
Yeah.
Christy's husband.
Is he the chef there?
I think so, yeah.
Shush, I didn't know that.
We had an event in the winter, and he cooked, and it was just phenomenal. The food
was like
phenomenal.
Chicken wrapped with bacon.
Yeah, chicken wrapped with bacon.
It was really good. I remember it. It was so good.
And all the other dishes were,
they were
quite
great
exceptional.
too.
Yeah.
So to find him, they just Googled Christy's husband, and they'll
Williston restaurant.
Williston.
I don't know, but again, another good food here in the city. We got lots of good food. So, did you grow up in Regina?
Just outside of.
So you are from Regina. Ish.
Balgony.
And then you hit up Saskatoon for a while and then came back.
Yeah.
And then Ontario?
Ontario, yes.
Interesting.
Newmarket, Ontario.
What brought you here?
Well, as I said, I graduated from college.
Was it work?
From Oakville, Ontario. And, the market was pretty saturated in the whole Toronto area. Oh. And also, I was really young. I was one of the youngest photographers going through there. And it was just overwhelming to me to start in this big city. So when Marilyn Kuhlman's her name, she's still a photographer and she's working in Swift Current now. Anyway, she was the only other woman photographer, I think, maybe there's one, or Linda, in my course, and so I got to know them. I'm saying that because it was a male-dominated industry when I went to college.
Yeah.
There was like 3 women in my class of 28. Small number, but they were great. We all got along. It was a good 2 years that I was there, and I got close to Marilyn. So she said she's in Regina, and there was this opportunity, and I just got on a plane. There was nothing to prevent me from getting on a plane and coming out here, so I did. And then
wow, so
I was going to come out here. I thought I'd come for a couple of years, work for this company. But I love living in Regina. I go back to Ontario pretty much every year because I have family out there. But I have to close my eyes in the traffic while my husband's driving, because otherwise I'm just driving him crazy. Like, oh my God.
It's a different life.
I don't like the traffic anymore. I'm a prairie girl now. I'm living in the prairies. I want my open spaces. Thank you very much.
And then take really good photos too.
Yeah, and it's it's the smaller city. You know so many people. You get to know so many people, and I'm sure it's the same in larger centers. But you just get to know them differently. But that's how I find Regina is just it's friendly, it's connected, and it's been good to me.
Good. I love hearing that, and I love that you guys are doing what makes you happy, and you're bringing your joy to other people, allowing us to experience such beautiful art that you're making, or helping creating art. Regina, if there's anything that we can do to see more of your guys' work, what can we do? Look you up. You said your backdrops at.
Yeah,
sorry, I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, no, there's the HoldsworthBackdrops.com, and then Patricia Holdsworth Photographer is my architectural photography, and then it's PH Portrait Photography.
I can add the links onto the actual underneath.
Started thinking, is there any more? No, I think that's enough.
I'll make sure to have the link for you, and would you like me to add yours as well?
Sure, yeah. My website is probably the best way to contact me. That's elysianphoto.com. And then my Instagram as well, Elysian Photo Co.
What's the name from?
So that's a good question. So that is I want to say Latin word, meaning paradise or heavenly. So I really liked the word, and my studio is my little happy place, and that's what I want my portraits to
It reflects it, for sure.
Yeah, just be, I don't know, yeah, like heavenly portraits. So.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys both for what you do, and thanks for sharing your story today.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, take care out there.